sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Let's try it again.
Hi.
Hello, take two.
Hello. My name's not Take Two.
Oh my God.
Was that a dad joke?
God, yes.
Ugh, I'm gross. Anyway, hi everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And this is our moment to shine where Heather fucks up the keyboard and we didn't start and it was cool, but it was really fun to sit here and see her turn on and then turn off just as quickly.
I do what I can. It's professionalism up in here.
Yep. If you had a middle name, it would be professionalism.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of all things.
Thank
What's
you.
shaking? Tell me something new.
Tell you something new.
Yeah, I want
Do you want me
something new.
to? I can barely think in this hot yoga studio.
I know
Good
it is.
God.
It is hot.
I don't know what they're trying to sweat us out. Like, you know what? We're tired of those bitches. I'm over it.
We don't want you in there. The temperature is 91. And it's literally like 60 outside. It's so refreshing.
Is it refreshing?
It is refreshing.
Okay. So I was looking for something on my phone and I'd screenshot this story on, how do you say this? Account?
I just took my glasses off.
Oh, okay. Well,
Where?
puberty? Puberty? How do you say
Let me
it?
see.
Pubity.
It's also like a 2 font, and I couldn't have passed a spelling test with
This
that
right
ever.
here where my thumb is.
Yeah.
Puberty. Okay, anywho. A woman attacked by snake that fell out of the sky before a hawk starts assaulting her too.
That's a thing. I
That's
can
a
see
lot.
that happening.
A woman in Texas, she was on her mower, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a snake just fell on her.
Yeah.
And then it
A
went
hawk
wrapped
dropped
around.
it.
It wrapped around her arm and her like neck and shit. And then the hawk came down and started like clawing at her. And
I
she
bet
just
that
trying to
hurt.
mow the lawn.
I bet that hurt like a motherfucker.
How terrifying is that?
It would
For
be
one,
very
you're just sitting
terrifying.
there, and then a snake just plops on you and decides to Monty Python your fucking ass.
I don't know. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I've just seen a lot of hawk videos.
She said the snake was squeezing so hard, and then I was waving my arms in the air. I bet you were.
Oh, I thought you were going to give me something else.
Now it cuts off. I took a screenshot.
That was
so.
not nearly as I was ready for her to be like, and then I jumped off, bit its head off myself, spit it into the yard, and then ran it over with my lawnmower.
No.
Oh, is that not like a normal response?
No. No, she just hopped off after she got away from the hawk and went to the ER.
I bet she had to go to the ER because them hawks, man,
Hawks be hawking.
them talons over there just scratching you like my fucking neck.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know. I woke up and I took a shower, just for everyone that was curious.
Wow.
I bathed this morning.
Gold star.
And thank you. I like to start my day off with a gold star. And I was like, my neck burns. And then I got out and I was like, well, shit, fire. I'm going to guess Mr. Theosaurus Rex or Betty
Star
Lou Who.
at the star at the end of the shows.
I think one of my puppy dogs
Let me see it.
attacked me.
Okay, it's not 3 marks because 3 marks is the sign of the devil.
Oh my God, that'd be wild.
You know, when people
I
go
would
in
not
haunted
be mad.
They
If
go in haunted houses.
I don't want to turn into a werewolf. That would be one thing.
What?
I mean, maybe because
Vampire
you
or
get
werewolf?
Ooh. I feel like a vampire is never satiated, and I feel like wolves are really fast and they get to run around and be in the woods and they get to hang out with their friends. And that could be fun.
You would have such a logical answer. I'm like, vampires are hot. I would be a vampire.
Right? But then even if...
I watch
like
too much
this one.
True Blood.
I think I'm going to be a werewolf.
Okay, we could still be friends.
Yeah. But if I could pick anything, it'd be a witch.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know we get to.
So, I mean, I just had to throw something else in there.
Yeah.
I'm really good. I'm not going to be like, would you be
Like
a fairy?
No.
I would not want to be a fairy.
No. Modern day witch,
Indeed.
not Salem times.
Why?
Why?
There's no difference.
No, just because they all were looked down upon and it's more socially accepted now. And they.
I think the whole reason it's accepted now is the COVID. Because once COVID came out, because it's obviously just that high school friend in the closet. Once COVID came out, everyone was looking for spirituality, I think. And people were definitely getting more in tune with nature, which is essentially what the the modern day riches. So I don't know. I think all of that, like that's probably where 98% of like the content online came from. Yeah. Right into it.
Yeah.
When COVID came out of that closet. So did you know that in the state of Florida, this is going off my memories because I probably deleted my screenshot, that in Florida, if you touch any child that's under the age of 12 sexually, you can now get the death sentence.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Let's get a little round of applause. Let's get a little round of applause. Heather didn't applaud, so obviously she's okay with touching little kids.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
I just want to start a rooms on that. Guys, I'm thirsty today, and it really is so hot in here, and I'm wearing a sweater, so I need to hydrate or I'm going to faint from fucking heat stroke.
It is, yeah, and you got a thick-ass sweater on, too.
I do. Mama had the window open.
I got my my $6 Temu shirt on that I'm obsessed with. Soft as butter. It's fine. I'll just vamp.
Can't figure out how to turn on the air.
Is it touch? Is it working? Is it touching?
I don't know. It acts like it's going to do it, and then it changes its mind. So when I start my story, I'm going to need you to fucks with it.
What? Okay.
Because I don't feel like everyone else is as concerned about the fact that I'm sweating. I'd like to change clothes if I could. So, lady.
Yeah. Lady of the night.
Yeah. Do you want to?
That means
Do you want
prostitute.
to tell a story?
Do I want to tell a story?
I want to tell a story. Can I tell a story first?
Yeah, you sure can.
Do you care if I tell my story?
Well, apparently I'm the maintenance for the building, so I'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would really be kind of stupid if I just was like, "Can you fix that?" And then I don't go, and then I just have to sit here and continue to sweat.
Yeah.
I'm not fully sweating, guys. I'm not like that big of a
It's
sweater.
so gross. There's like water on the mic.
Oh.
She got sweat on the mic.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's do it. Bing, ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Do you think that if I spelt my name Cherry, which spells cherry,
Yeah. I'm a visual person. I was like, cheery?
and then at
I'm
the
having
end
a
of
heat
it
stroke.
was L-E. It's Cherrylle.
That's Cherrylle.
But just spelt stupid like.
That's Cherrylle.
Cool. We're going to talk about a bitch named Cherrylle.
Oh, so we don't like her.
No.
Okay, that is a really dumb way to spell it.
So I think I saved this as witchy whore
Please.
because she's a whore and she a little witchy.
Is she a little witchy?
But she's mostly a whore, narcissist,
Oh.
bitch. I like to tell you what flavors I put in the dish before you taste it. And that
You literally do.
is what this one's about. A narcissistic, witchy whore.
Yeah, we don't slut shame unless that we don't like the person. Then all gloves and all bets are off.
Yes.
Yes.
And she was. So this, I got it from Ottawa Citizen
right,
because
I'm
it's
listening.
happening in the Canadas. This was also on Deadly Women, but unlike Heather, I didn't look up. I just found out that it was on Deadly Women. I didn't look it up. And it came from Oxygen True Crime. They also have an episode a show called Charmed to Death, I guess. Cute. And I felt like it was appropriate to do a little ditty for Oxygen True Crime as they were the sponsor of CrimeCon. And go Oxygen True Crime. Okay. Are you done playing with that? Because it's a lot harder to do this when you're not near me.
Okay. It's like I'm trying to fix it.
Did you fix it?
I don't know.
I was hoping you had.
You got to pick a leg. You're like,
It's all right.
you're
You
like,
can go
hey, go
back.
do that, and then I go do it, and you're like, hey, I want you to come over here. Okay.
Well, things are hard with me. It's complicated. I'm complicated.
Okay.
So Scott and Cherrylle Dell, they moved to a small farming town of Killaloe. Maybe I'm saying it right. Maybe I'm fucking not. In Ontario, Canada, in the winter of 1988. So Scott is 36 years old. He's a social worker. He's described as a kind and gentle man. I didn't write man in there. I just said kind and gentle.
He is a kind and gentle.
Yes.
I love the kind and gentle.
Yes. A kind and gentle. And perhaps the opposite of his wife. Even like the other woman in all of this will even be like, there was an aura about him that was really quite beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah. 33-year-old Cherrylle, she's kind of a wild one, if you will. She is now in this farming community, and there's only like 700 people that live in this village.
Oh, man.
Apparently, her favorite attire is that of a prostitute, and she wears mini skirts and fishnets and just
In a
really
town,
crushing
wait,
it.
pause. In a Canadian town of 700,
Jeez.
she wears Pretty Woman clothes.
Jeez.
Wow.
Perhaps prostitution is also in her future. We'll find out. You know, you always got to dress for the job you want. And she did. So, anywho, she is that kind of person that I just explained. As I'm talking about Cherrylle and her mini skirts and whatnot, apparently, like, Scott's love is just super blind. Like, he and Cherrylle, they started dating originally in the fall of 1970, so they've been together for quite some time. They're married on New Year's Eve in 1971. He had just turned 20, and she was only 17.
Oh.
Yeah. So it had made no difference that in February of 1971, Cherrylle was admitted to the hospital after overdosing on aspirin.
Overdose
Yeah.
on Advil?
She was described then to like be super indifferent about it and to like laugh about it and make jokes.
That's a little morbid.
It's very weird. A marital crisis, though, does eventually occur because anyone that gets married at 17 and 20, usually, based off of my intensive research or extensive, whichever, they have a marital crisis, if you will.
Yeah, it's called their babies.
Yeah. Anywho, in the spring of 75, she leaves him, and then she basically comes back like in early of 76.
So she goes on Rumspringa.
Yeah.
Like the Amish.
And
goes
she's now a stripper in Toronto, and she's also pregnant.
So she goes on Rumspringa, dances on that pole, gets
And dances
knocked
on
up.
more than one pole, if you know what I'm
Man, we're
saying.
going to call this one dad jokes.
Yeah. Creepy dad jokes.
She's dancing on that pole.
Well, more happens. Well, no, I can't even say that. Scott, he takes her back.
Why?
And he is the only father that little sweet baby ever knows.
Of course.
But I don't know what else. Like, there's a whole portion on the kids, but I didn't dig into it because I mostly don't care. And my story's really long without the additional details of her children.
Okay.
You can't find their names, though. They're supposedly, like, hidden into the files and whatnot.
Sounds like it's for a good reason.
That girl, because it ends up being a daughter, they end up having 3 kids. 2 of them are by other men.
Man.
One of them, the last one, is actually by him.
Oh, poor Scooter.
Yeah. And the first daughter, she actually says, I was afraid that my mom might come after me. Like, she didn't even have a bonding relationship with her own mother,
Wow.
the stripper prostitute. So Cherylle's urging basically she is pushing for the family to move, and they end up moving to this place called Peterborough, where they operated a group home for special needs children out of their home.
Oh, wow.
They also cared for mentally handicapped children as well as for a baby girl who they adopted in 1987. So I'm going to mention that, though. But anyway, in 1989, they end up moving to that other place that I had mentioned in the village of Killaloe. They continue to operate their group home. They enroll their daughter in an alternative school, a 2-room schoolhouse for roughly a dozen students, in which the parents played really big roles in assisting the teachers and administering the programs, I'm sure, if there's only 700 people there.
Right.
Through a local trading co-op, they're based on bartering and on credits. They nickname themselves as the Killaloonies. The Dells end up giving and receiving essentially goods and services. So they're living in that, like, that'd be pretty fucking awesome. I'm not even gonna lie. If, like, I didn't have to worry about money anymore and it was just, like, bartering goods and services, I'm fucking down. And I'm making soap. I don't know why, but I want to make soap.
I feel like you can make some bomb-ass bath bombs or
I
something.
think you ain't
Because
lying.
you research everything to, like, dissertation status if you switch your fucking face cream or anything, so...
Well, that's not wrong. They thought about opening a health food store, and they were looking at, like, business loans, and they were scouting locations. That November, she gives birth to a son, the only child that's fathered by Mr. Dell, and he's born at home, midwife. I'm jumping into some other shit now because I wanted to give a little bit of like the to understand that like she had walked out essentially on the marriage at one point. She has a child out of wedlock, or not out of wedlock, outside of the marriage, if you will. But they also say that like she had this power over people that was like unbelievably amazing. Like it would blow you away. Scott and Cherrylle took in foster children as a means to supplement their income. So they ended up adding to the couple's shared 3 children. So from my understanding, right, she had one outside of the marriage. They adopted one, and then she had one with Dell, and then they got a 4th one.
Okay.
Which I just want to let you know, it literally is written that they took on a foster child to supplement their income.
That part is
yeah.
shady.
So it's a lot. It's a lot, and sadly, it's really a thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It didn't take long for Cherrylle, though, to get tired of Scott, and soon she decides to have an affair with her female friend, whose name is Gay Doherty.
What?
I think it's funny that her name was Gay, and she was gay. And that's just me being a ridiculous, immature child. That's all. That's what I have for you there. At one point, she literally takes the family van and goes off on a tryst with her lesbian lover in 92, and she leaves her entire family without their vehicle.
So she's like, hey, you have kids, don't get hurt while I'm gone. You can't go to the hospital. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have a way to take them anywhere.
Well, imagine you just look at Will and you're like, hey, take the only vehicle. No, you can't get to work. You can't do anything. Can't get groceries.
Nutso.
Can't take care of anyone. Nope. If something happens, you got no vehicle. I'm going to go munch. I'm gonna go to Munchtown.
Oh my God.
And then she returns. She's like, you know what would be nice if my lesbian lover could move in with us.
No. So he knew. Like she wasn't even having it.
She stole the vehicle.
No, I know. She wasn't even
to run off with a woman.
And then comes back and is like,
he knew.
We're gonna take in.
And he's like, no, we're not. And she's like, okay, well, fuck you. Then I don't want to be with you anymore. And he even says, you can still sleep with her. Like, you can still be with her. Continue the affair. I just want to be with you. I love you. I want our family to stay together. Do what you got to do, but stay with me. And she's like, no, I'm cool.
Hell no.
A week after this whole vacation, she's actually living with Doherty, and she's trying to get the kids in the house. Now, she soon files for divorce, but adding insult to injury, she makes up shocking claims about Scott, that he was molesting their children at home. I read that she had said that he ejaculated on one of their daughters. Yeah. Like, yeah. So then they also, well, I might get into it or I'll have to jump back to it. I can't remember what I wrote in my notes and what I'm just going to have to tell you. So I might stumble on that, but y'all pick me up as I fall. So the courts ordered Scott to leave the house, the farm, and hand the children over to Cherrylle. While it could have been damning for his reputation, everyone knew that it was like bullshit. Like no one believed it. Another thing that she had said, so I'm just going to say it and then hope it doesn't come back up in my notes, is that he had like beat a mentally disabled child.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
She's saying terrible things.
Yeah, horrible shit. The second, the lowest level of low of a female that I can personally state in my mind, besides cheaters and murders and all that shit, is like a woman who, or like same thing if you're a 16-year-old girl and you say it about your dad because you're tired of the way your parents are treating you, ever lying about abuse of a child.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Cherylle's lover, Doherty, she was even skeptical of the accusations.
You think?
She didn't believe it at all either. And so soon the authorities had doubted him. It took them a week, apparently, to figure it out. But they'd already essentially like removed him from the home, didn't let the kids there.
Yeah, they had to do that's
they had to do
standard, right?
Yes. But even the cops went and did all their research and whatnot, and they were like, okay, this was a lie. Even so, Doherty, the girl, right, or the lesbian lover, she goes, I realized Scott was a very deep, caring man and that I stepped into something I regret.
Wow. She sure did.
She eventually breaks off the affair and she leaves Cherrylle alone in her growing resentment towards Scott. But Doherty, she had even said, too, she was like, I just felt like I was suffocating under the need to constantly do everything for her. Like, she was such a victim. She wouldn't do anything. Like, she had to take care of this farm. Like, she had to do literally everything. She was like, I just couldn't handle it anymore. So the summer of 94, Scott is hit with a super hard blow, and he finds out that he has oral cancer.
Oh, no.
That spread into his throat and his lymph nodes. Upon the diagnosis, though, she halted the divorce proceedings. They remained separated. Then, to almost everyone's surprise, he fought cancer and won.
Good.
Yeah. And it started from like a sore throat. He went to the doctor, and like everyone thought they were going to lose him, and he ended up surviving it. And it was something really special. In December of 95, Cherrylle had visited Scott at their home, because now he's back in his home with a bottle of wine. And she's like alluding to a possible like reconciliation. And he's unbelievably excited. He is going through remission. He no longer has cancer. He might have the love of his life back. And he's just a really pumped guy. On December 29th, a friend went to pick up Scott for some post-holiday shopping and immediately felt like something was wrong. The front door was open, which that's bizarre.
Yeah.
In the wintertime.
Holiday shopping, so winter, Canada.
Yes.
That's like literally a freezer.
You were not wrong.
Right?
The sound of a needle on a spinning record was playing.
In every show and movie and scary movie.
My glasses
And
are dirty. I gotta
Order
stop acting like I can read with them on. I kept acting like I could, and it was like this annoying like glare over here of just my face makeup.
Your glasses are dirty.
So dirty. So anyway, super fucking creepy. Front door wide open.
Yeah.
Record had been playing, and now it was just kind of skipping. This friend found Scott dead in his own vomit on his children's bedroom floor.
No.
A wine bottle and a full glass was nearby. So Cherrylle tells police that Scott was suffering from cancer and expected to die soon. The coroner noted his death originally as cancer-related. She hurried the process to have him cremated, but Scott's family was like, no. His family stepped in, and in the 11th hour, they were able to stop him from being cremated and got an autopsy.
Good.
Yeah.
This is like a movie.
It's fucking insane.
Yeah, poor Scott.
It is apeshit banana pants. The medical examiner found that not only was Scott cancer-free, so he wasn't dying of cancer, but his toxicity panel showed high levels of ethylene glycol, which is antifreeze. And tests showed that the wine bottle from the scene contained antifreeze. So soon, she changed her story, of course, and told police that Scott had intended to die by suicide.
Wow.
And then
she's the worst.
So now they're saying that he ingested it on his own accord. And apparently, or intentionally, I don't fucking know what I was trying to say, the family, right whenever they were told that he died, the whole family was like, it was Cherrylle. So that also...
Yeah. Why would they not think it's her?
Yeah.
She's kind of the worst.
She really fucking is.
She's kind of the worst. I would automatically be like, it was her fault. I would go fight her immediately. And I'm glad that they were able to stop the cremation.
Yeah. But the cops are still kind of pushing that this had to have been a suicide, because they were saying that he had cause for depression, which would have been his wife's recent romance.
Yeah.
With another fucking woman.
She took that love wagon on vacation or wherever the fuck they went.
Yeah. And apparently, I totally forgot to mention this. She dates another woman.
Again?
Yeah. So I was like, who the fuck is Fillmore? I totally forgot to mention the fact that later on she ends up dating another woman.
While she's with Scott?
No, she'd been trying to end it with Scott. The only time that she acted like she wanted to get back together with Scott after Doherty was to get the fucking wine.
Oh,
yeah, it was never an intention of getting back together with him. So now she's dating another woman in this very small town. They know about it. And the other woman actually gives her a place to stay and gives Cherrylle money for a down payment for a new home.
Whoa.
So, like, kind of serious. And she believes everything that Cherrylle had said about Scott's abuse.
She does.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure she's very convincing if she's used to being the victim.
Yeah.
And then she's probably like, I need to get my story better because the last lady, Lava, did not believe her all the way.
That is a valid statement.
So she's probably like, you know what?
Well, it also
sequel.
helped that Cherrylle beat this new woman and would leave bruises on her arms. So there was evidence of her being abused. So Kim Meisel, who's a friend of the other Fillmore, I don't know why I don't have her fucking first name, Nancy, goodness gracious, Nancy Fillmore is her new lesbian lover, recognized that her friend was struggling and had asked her to go on this boat and like understand what was going on. Like, hey, go on a boat ride with me. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
And she said she just started to cry and shake. And she said, her friend says, for God's sake, Nancy, if you got something inside, just friggin' say it. Yeah.
I love that.
Will you pause this? So then this little sweet Nancy lady, she's like, I could have stopped it. He'd still be alive if I would have stopped it.
Oh, what a feeling.
So her friend is like, you got to go to the police. And in March of 97, 2 years after Scott dies, Fillmore, Nancy, she took her information to the Ontario Provincial Police. She told them that Cherrylle kicked Fillmore out of her own house and kept her belongings.
Oh.
And more importantly, she said that Cherrylle had murdered Scott. So look at this.
Okay.
So Cherrylle finds this woman gay,
Okay.
turns gay, and she becomes a lesbian lover.
Okay.
She goes through all of this crazy shit with her, and while Scott's still alive, whatever. She breaks up with her, finds Nancy, starts a new relationship.
Okay.
She beats Nancy.
Ugh.
She kicks Nancy out of
How does that work?
Nancy's home after Nancy gave her money for a down payment.
Oh, man.
And
She's just like squatters' rights. I live here. Our love nest is now mine only. Please leave.
I think it depends on a few different things. Who really wants to put up the fight? Like,
I'd be like,
if
sure, you can stay here and come back with the SWAT team.
That's what, like, if you went home today and Will was like, you're not fucking stepping foot in this house, you might be like, okay, I'm gonna go address this separately. You know, like it's not like you're gonna beat down the garage door with an axe and like go into it with your 6 foot fucking 7 husband. You know what I mean? She obviously has issues with her. She knows that she killed someone.
That's
by
true.
Poison.
Yeah.
There's kind of a lot of factors in there.
She's like, let's make up. I made you this dinner. Drink
Right.
fast. You go first.
Cheers.
3-4 slam it whore.
So Nancy tells authorities that in December of 95, Cherrylle brought a bottle of wine over to Scott. Cherrylle then returned to Nancy's home, so they were dating during this time, goes to Nancy's home and initiated a phone conversation with her estranged husband, keeping him on the line for 9 full hours.
What are you talking
Cherrylle,
about?
under the pretense of possible reconciliation, urged Scott to drink the wine while they listened to music and talked through the night. That is why the record was playing. So not only did she bring something to poison him, she then made sure that she was talking to him on the phone through all of it to ensure that he died.
That's psycho.
Scott had lost his sense of taste because of the chemo and all of his cancer related, so he never tasted the poison. He wouldn't have been able to know.
Boo.
Nancy was the one who admitted to buying the wine at a liquor store.
But did she know why?
And
though?
she bought the antifreeze at Walmart.
Nance.
She also watched Cherrylle concoct the poisonous mixture in her kitchen.
What?
And she was too afraid to even like tell the police afterwards because she was just afraid for her life too.
I mean,
which is always a bullshit excuse.
Yeah, but at least she said something now. She knows something wrong.
Here's my big thing. I would just go to the police and be like, hey, this is what happened. Now I would like Thomas over there to follow me the fuck around until fucking bitch is arrested. And if they're like, well, we don't have, how much does it cost per hour for a cop chaperone? Because I will pay for it.
No, I would check myself into a cell. I'm like, I stay right here. You guys go figure it out. Come get me when you're done.
Really?
Yeah, I would hide. I mean, what's a safer place than at the jail? If you have a single cell and you get to sit there, and then if they say
that sounds horrible.
If you say, "Hey, I have to pee,"
this isn't fucking.
You could read. You like to read?
Yeah, but not behind bars.
Yeah, but I don't want to like go root around if I think.
I'd rather just be like, you know what? I'm gonna hop in my car. This bitch ain't that bright. It's the 90s. I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna go stay in a hotel far away.
I don't know. Mine sounds more like a movie.
I mean, this whole thing is a freaking
It really is.
movie. Well, it gets more crazy.
How?
So Nancy calls her friend Kim, Measle, whoever. And she's like, Kim, I'm not going to make it to trial. She's going to take me out. I'm dead. Nancy is like certain she is going to get killed by homegirl. Now the star witness in the investigation to Scott's murder is Nancy, and she refused to move from her home until she got her possessions back from Cherrylle. But in August of 97, a house fire tears through Nancy's home, and she dies in the blaze.
Oh, Nancy did?
Mm-hmm.
Sketchy like, or just like accident?
Like murder.
No.
The way you said that made me laugh, and it's not okay to laugh because poor Nancy. An autopsy report revealed that she had died of smoke inhalation.
Well, at least she didn't feel the burn, you know? If it was smoke inhalation, she would have been dead already.
Right.
I get a silver lining.
So Cherrylle is obviously under suspicion for the deaths of Scott and Nancy now. She had an alibi, and there was little evidence to show. Oh, you got. I just had a yawn attack me.
Wow. That scared me.
It attacked me.
You're like, she had an alibi.
I did. And it was intense.
It was.
My apologies. Anyway, there's no evidence to show that she had started this fire. So the police are canvassing the area. They're speaking to locals, and they come across this name, a guy named Brent Crawford.
Who the fuck is Brent?
Well, he is a 16-year-old boy
Oh, Jesus.
whom Cherrylle had
say.
cast under her spell in the spring and the summer of 97.
Her spell? He's 16. Just flash him a little boob, right? I'm just assuming that's how you would get a 16-year-old's attention.
I mean, if you're our age, I guess. I don't know.
I mean,
she's our age in this. How nasty. What a nasty. All right. So obviously this wee little tot was attracted to Cherrylle, who's a sexy pole dancer, slut, puppy.
What does she look like?
She's pretty.
Yeah.
We can talk about it in a little bit. She's pretty. Not gorgeous. They said she was doll-like is what I heard. Really, she had short, blonde, like ramen noodle hair, but like
just
cuter, I guess. Yeah, but like longer. She wasn't butch. She wouldn't be getting
I don't know.
Anyway, he was attracted to her, obviously, and he had spent time in her home. He later bragged to his friends that he had sex with her.
That sounds about right.
Yeah?
Yes.
There was not one occasion, but multiple occasions where Brent was seen or witnessed to be harassing or in the vicinity of Nancy Fillmore's home leading up to her death, said the Ontario police investigator Ken Leppert. There were a number of reasons for us to be concerned that Cherrylle Dell and Brent Crawford had conspired to murder Nancy Fillmore. Crawford told his friends that Cherrylle had paid him to kill her, but it wasn't enough to arrest him. Lacking any physical evidence, they resorted to what's called the Mr. Big police procedure, where an undercover officer acts as a crime boss to elicit a confession from a suspect interested in joining a fictitious criminal enterprise.
Whoa.
When they said Mr. Big, I was thinking Sex and the City. I wasn't thinking Mob Boss 101.
Right.
Crawford told the undercover officer that he broke into Fillmore's house and struck her in the head. He then knocked over her lit candles and barricaded the door so that she couldn't escape before climbing out on the window.
Boo.
Not out on a window, out of the window. So she wasn't going to survive that anyway, sadly. And then he locked her in. So I very much hope that she was just knocked out and not like trying to get out.
Yes.
Do you want to know what he got for it?
I probably don't.
Besides
of the way that
chlamydia, probably. His first gonorrhea shot in the ass.
Oh my God.
She gave him $300 and a motorcycle.
Stop it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He was now arrested. Through the neighborhood canvassing, they learned that in the summer of 95, Cherrylle had taken her dog to a local vet and inquired about the effects of antifreeze poisoning. That fall, she had called Poison Control and looked for additional information about the effects on antifreeze for the human being. because this is what happens in the 90s. You have to ask your vet and then call poison control.
Oh, yeah.
In December of 97, she was finally arrested for the murder of Scott Dell.
Good, bitch.
She stood trial for her husband's murder in November of 2000. The defense, I don't know what that is.
The offense and the defense.
I mean, I'm lightheaded. I had to literally change shirts, guys. It was so hot in here. I'm now wearing a t-shirt, which is my least favorite thing to wear. The defense presented a theory that she had tried talking Scott out of suicide, and that it was hard to disprove between the murder of the star witness and a case built on circumstantial evidence. But then, so look at this. They're like, you can't prove that. Are you fucking kidding me?
Wow.
She killed her lesbian lover who knew about it and was a star witness from the 16-year-old that she was banging, and there's evidence of all of that, and you're acting like it's circumstantial?
I don't understand that.
Well, the great thing is Cherylle's a fucking idiot because she blabbed her dirty, dirty mouth.
Of course she did.
To her fucking cellmate.
Oh, so she's trying to... okay.
And so that cellmate came forward and testified that she admitted in great detail exactly how she killed her husband. So there was a mountain of evidence that basically showed the depths of what she was doing and how much she had loathed her husband, who always loved her, always took her back, always doted over her.
Yeah.
And they even had a voodoo doll. Because I said witchy shit, right? Mm-hmm. Where does the witchy shit come in? I think her story is so fucked up that the witchy vibe to it is like just over there on the shelf. It is truly the sprinkles to the buttercream motherfucking icing on this cake of fucking crazy.
What is
So there's a voodoo doll out there that she made that looked like Scott. More tellingly, there was evidence that she had also tried to cover up the crimes by all of the other shit that she had said that wasn't actually accurate.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to find, where's my little notes? Okay. Okay. She went and purchased, this is what Gay had said.
Okay.
She said she went and purchased some kind of waxy material and did this voodoo thing, made it look like Scott, and put ropes and ribbons and pins in it. She said certain things over it, and then I think she buried it, is what her girlfriend had, her previous girlfriend who made it out alive had testified.
Yeah, I wonder where Gay is during all this. Could you imagine?
She's on the show, on the True Crime Show.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
she's the one talking about it.
Like,
she's the one who was like really big on this, all of everything else.
Yeah.
So according to Nancy, though, after Scott had left the home, freaking Cherrylle had then got out her witchcraft books and lit candles and was saying all these weird, I don't know what you call them, rituals or prayers or whatever. They don't make sense to me because that's not what I believe in. So both ladies had mentioned some form of witchcraft items that were happening after it.
And then they said that she had a very strong presence over people. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah, and that she could literally like put a spell on you, which makes me wonder how much she was really practicing and what she was doing. I'm very intrigued to know what her, obviously she was super selfish, and anything that you do, you get back, threefold, but very intrigued by that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she could have just been really, really charismatic. And then the fact that she had the rituals, they could have tied those together.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't either. It was enough, though, to convict her.
Good.
On first-degree murder, and she was sentenced to 25 to life without parole. Following the verdict, Crawford stood trial for Nancy Fillmore's murder. He, too, was convicted of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced to 10 years in prison because he was still considered a minor.
So he'll be 26
He'll have his whole life.
out earlier than that. It's
For
good
sure.
behavior.
Yep.
Huh. Wow.
Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
I don't think
I don't know.
Who
We
knows?
didn't talk about him enough.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about him. Was his dad an alcoholic who beat him? Was this like? There's so many.
That's true.
It's not black and white, right?
There's other factors too.
For Nancy's death, Cherrylle was found guilty of first-degree murder on intimidation of a witness. And as Canadian law prohibited convicts from serving 2 life sentences, she was sentenced to 5 years.
So she got
Not enough.
no.
30 years to life.
Yeah, at least no parole, so. Right?
Yeah.
But still.
She remains in prison to this day. There was a report that I just wanted to like throw in here on what a psychologist had said about her at some point in all of this debauchery of what the fuck was Cherylle's life. And it said that it called her, a rather immature, narcissistic, self-indulgent person. She has an inordinate need for affection and finds it difficult to satisfy this. Other individuals would be expected to ignore their own feelings or needs in favor of her wishes. She would frequently be viewed by others as conceited, spoiled, or disdainful.
It sounds like it.
Where'd you get that from? What did I say that would possibly imply any of that shit about her?
Everything.
Right?
Out of your mouth hole implied that.
Right.
Right.
What a crazy bitch.
Yeah.
How horrible was she?
Man, I want to, I'm mad at her.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No, yeah.
She's gross.
She's just, there's so, I used to not think that, or maybe I just didn't pay attention enough to how selfish people are. And people are so unbelievably selfish all the time. You see it more than you don't see it almost. And it's like, this woman specifically just blows me away that she...
Oh, she didn't give a shit.
She didn't give two shit. She obviously didn't even care if she was married. Just running off for a year, becoming a stripper, and getting pregnant.
And then being like, oh, I messed up. You didn't mess up. You just knew he'd take you back, you bitch.
How do you even know she said that, though?
I don't know. In my Lifetime original movie, that's what happened.
The Cherrylle Dell story?
She shows up with a baby bump and fishnets and a tube top, and she's like, hey, Scott, I fucked up.
I missed you.
I missed you so much. And he's like, what? Okay.
I too missed you. Welcome home.
Poor Scott, R.I.P.
I know. Poor Nancy.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P. too.
That's why I had to do so. I was like, not only did she kill her husband and do voodoo rituals, she then killed her second lesbian lover.
Yeah.
And by a 16-year-old boy that she was fucking.
And that was in a town of 700.
Yes.
So that she fucked like a fourth of the town.
Bitches be crazy. Fuck her. She
Men,
ruined
women.
so many lives, man.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you can just shoot a fucking slingshot and ruin like 5 people's lives, but she did.
Yeah.
Imagine her kids.
No, I hope they're doing okay.
Me too. Are you gonna fall asleep?
What? Am I going to fall asleep?
You look very sleepy.
It's so warm.
Like, she literally looks like she is going to snuggle into the corner of a couch and go to sleep for 3 hours. Like, her eyes are even, it's either she got high or she's going to fall asleep.
Did not.
Wow.
I'm not going to fall asleep. Hopefully you don't either, because I'm about to tell you my story.
I can't wait.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. This is the murder. Whoa. Off to a raging start.
Yes, we are.
The murder of Lydia, and I'm going to say Cala the whole time. It's C-A-L-A. I don't know. There wasn't much on it. My sources.
Question.
Yes.
Is this the link or is this a different person? Which story did you go with?
This is the one from the link.
Got it.
Okay. I was like, it took me a minute to
I
figure
know.
out
I
what
was
the hell
like,
you're
why are
talking
you... You're like, I don't know which story I'm going to do. It's between this one or this other one.
Insider, this is behind the snes, you guys. This is behind the scenes.
This is what it's like, fucking around with Heather. What?
You just say things. I'm like, what? Give me a little bit.
Which story is this? The one that was the link or the other story you were researching? I don't know how much more information to ask or to provide.
Okay, sources are midland.com, the Daily Mail, Fort Worth Star, and then shockingly not Wikipedia, because there's not a lot on this.
Same with her. She wasn't on Wikipedia either.
Like, it made it a lot more difficult, but I did find like the court records and stuff and go through that a little bit. So I know it's legit. I'm just shocked that it wasn't in the news, and you're going to hear why. So 3 headlines online. That's Netzo Bizarro. And I put together what I have, and here we do go. Joseph Cala II was born in California, and he had 2 older siblings. Now, the family moved to Texas sometime after he was born, and then they ended up staying there. His mother, Lydia Cala, she was a school teacher, and Joseph Sr. had retired from a place called Bell Helicopter. And doing what? I don't know. In my head, he was a helicopter pilot or something. In high school, Joseph got straight A's and was a member of the National Honor Society. And until his senior year, when apparently he started smoking weed and drinking all the time.
The gateway drug. That starts it all, right?
And that's when his grades started to decline. So much, in fact, that he dropped out of high school 6 weeks until graduation in 1979.
What a fucking idiot.
Like 1979. The last 6 weeks, you take like 2 finals and just show up.
Yeah. No, I agree. And in 79, I'm pretty sure all you needed was a high school diploma to like run every corporation.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anyone went to college.
Right. And after that, he enlisted in the U.S. Army, but he was dishonorably discharged 6 weeks into that because he failed to follow orders. So,
ooh, that's always a sign of something naughty.
Only 3 years later, in 1982, Joseph was clinically diagnosed with schizophrenia, which shockingly for this time he was actually treated for and took his medication because, you know, the 80s aren't really glorified in our stories and research for mental health.
I don't think any gen is, except for maybe this one.
Yeah, now it's, but you're right.
We say that, but now there's more school shootings and mass shootings than ever before.
Yeah. This was the same time around that Joseph started thinking about witches heavily.
Ooh.
Yeah. He claimed that witches, quote, seemed intent on making me believe that I'm going to hell forever. They're going to take over the world, stuff like that. He said it never made any sense to him. His mother, Lydia, would go to church regularly and pray for him and his illness. Now, there's a gap between his diagnosis in 1982 and the year 2000. Because, again, 3 articles and some court records. So
that's why it doesn't look like you have an encyclopedia in front of you.
Right? I know. I did find out that he served 6 months in jail for drug possession, DWI, driving while intoxicated, is that what that is? And aggravated assault of a police officer. And when he was released in December of 2000, he went to Hearst, Texas to move in with his mother, Lydia. In October of 2001, he would find himself in trouble with the law again, and now he's about 40 years old. So on October 15th, 2001, Lydia Loggins, who is Joseph's sister, got a phone call from a concerned neighbor because her mother's house windows were busted out from the inside, and she was concerned.
I would be concerned too.
Right?
She's very that's a concerning thing.
Shattered from the inside out. She was like Lydia, the sister. She was scared when she got there because she said she was afraid of her brother. So she didn't go in and she called the cops. When they got there, Officer Kevin Meador looked through the bedroom window and saw a naked Joseph Cala II covered in blood over what he later learned was the mutilated body of Joseph's mother, Lydia.
Okay. So, a neighbor sees broken window, calls
the sister.
Calls the sister. So the daughter of the mother.
Yes. And Joseph's.
And the person.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she never walks up to the house or anything.
No, she's
and then
scared of her brother.
Sister just, no, I'm talking about the neighbor.
Oh, no. She calls the sister. Yes.
I'm getting there. I'm getting to my question.
Okay.
So she calls the sister and the sister just calls the cops and shows up home, or no?
The sister drives over there but stays outside.
Yeah, but she doesn't just walk up.
She's scared of her brother.
I understand.
Yeah.
But that also, there's no evidence that it was her brother at all at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she just knew she was scared of him when he was living there, so she was like, I'm probably going to hang out here.
That's weird to me, to not even walk up to the front of the house. Well, I mean, probably a good thing not to have. I'm sure that would be some scarring items to see.
Right. Okay, so Officer Meador saw that. Joseph standing there, naked, bloody, over his mother. Another officer.
Just a tiny penis dangling there.
Ew.
That's always so weird. Unhard penises are so bizarre.
They're disgusting.
And
Gonzo noses are gross.
What?
Gonzo noses is
What's Gonzo?
Gonzo.
I have no idea what you're saying.
You don't know who Gonzo is? Will you look up Gonzo and then I'll get through this part? You look up. You know what that means?
No, I'm okay.
The Muppets. The blue one. His nose.
I don't know. It's just so weird to be naked.
Yeah.
And guys are weirder naked. And so I just feel like all of that's weird. It just makes me think of the little Asian guy who, from The Hangover, his penis flopping around.
You know what?
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
You're just talking about a dude eating a piece of meat. Like,
I haven't. gotten there yet because you won't stop.
Sorry, it's just a weird story. It's a weird picture.
Okay. So he's standing there over, and this is sad. He's standing there over his mom's body that's mutilated. And then another officer comes up and looks in the window, and he sees Joseph eating what appears to be a human organ. So then they enter the house, and they hear Joseph saying he worshipped the devil and like mumbling some stuff, right?
I would hope there was a psychotic break in that. And he wasn't just like, come on in.
Yeah.
It's tasty.
Ew. They arrested him, and on the way to the station, he said he got mad at him and was like, "You interrupted my sacrifice." So they go and investigate, of course. The house was trashed, and they found his mother Lydia's will and testament on her chair inside. His sister Lydia told him that he wanted her, like, he just wanted her money. But from what I read, there wasn't really that much to inherit. Like, this sweet baby angel mom was a retired school teacher.
Yeah.
And she volunteered at her church, and she had like a humble life, right? So not...
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And his mom, Lydia, was only 76 pounds and under 5 feet tall. And not to mention she was 79. It wouldn't be hard for him to overpower her.
Where did the will come from? Did he like go through a filing cabinet or what? Is there any... That's what I just wonder with that. Was he like, hey, Mom, can I see the will? Like, is it only that... Could it have been that she was literally updating her? Like, I feel like the money part was just a bullshit. It could have literally just been she updated her will the month prior, put it on you know what I mean?
They don't think that it had anything to do with that. That's just something that the sister.
I was just talking like for the podcast, explaining my thoughts.
No,
on that.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I get where you would say that, but they don't think that would, have any effect on it or whatever. But I get where you're coming from. On that day, on October 15th, he left the house so this is like before it happened. He left the house to grab a burger at Red Robin. He said he felt fine, and then he returned home after dinner. And he said the second that he walked in the door, the witch's spirits took over, and I attacked my mom.
So bizarre.
I know. And he hit her over the head and then literally beat her to death.
Like you said, with her body weight, I feel like that was beating her to death could be 2 blows. It could be 1 blow. My goodness.
Right.
Poor thing.
And this is before, he cut her open, removed a few of her organs, and took some bites out of her bloody heart. And you know how they know that? Not only did one officer see him do it, they found it at the scene of the crime with part of it missing and teeth marks, like in the house. Yeah. The examiner said that she passed away from blunt force trauma to her head and chest, which is still terrible, but I mean, at least she wasn't alive when he was cutting her open. She had a broken nose, teeth, collarbone, ribs, a ton of bruising, and it was basically fucking awful. They didn't see any defensive wounds on her either, so they don't think that she suffered very long.
Yeah.
Now, all this is getting from an interview that he did in 2016, because like I said, I couldn't find a lot besides the court documents, but like he decided to talk when he was in 2016, he decided to do an interview. And that's when it came to, which I don't understand why this wasn't in the newspapers.
I don't either.
Yeah.
What was the year?
2003. So in his...
Is when the murder happened?
Uh-huh. Or no, when he went to jail.
I was wondering when the murder happened.
2001. So in the interview, he said that he knew he was going to hell for killing his mom and blamed it all on the witches in his head. But
That's so
which
stupid.
It's kind of crazy to me because he was taking his medication. So like he said he still heard voices and everything, but he was on all his medication. So I said it. In 2003, Joseph was found guilty and sentenced to 30 years with the possibility of parole. And he's currently on schizophrenia medication. He sees a psychiatrist weekly, but he says he still hears them. Well, in 2016, he said he still heard the witches and the voices. His sister was quoted after he was sentenced saying, quote, "Joey has ruined our family. As far as I'm concerned, he should never get out of jail. He's my brother and I love him, but it's going to take me a long time to find forgiveness." She last visited him in 2004 in prison, but that's the last time that she's seen him. She wrote him a letter in 2006, but that's the last communication. And in August of 2016, his parole was denied, so he will serve out his 30-year sentence fully and be about 70 years old when he gets out.
I wonder. I don't know. So firstly, it didn't hit the news, and it was like the late 90s is when the satanic panic had occurred. So I don't know if they were trying not to put that in the news, which I don't think you can just not want to put something in the news. The media is going to like eat it up if they want to.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why it wasn't covered.
That's what I don't get either. And that was before, instant news breaks like they are now. Like that was kind of like shifting that way because 2000, like the internet was a thing, but it wasn't like everyone wasn't on it all the time always.
Yeah.
So that could have been something too. But this is kind of.
Well, I heard too, didn't he say like he had gotten obsessed with like Harry Potter and stuff?
I didn't find anything about
that. Was on that original link.
That I didn't see it on that one.
I wonder if that's the same storyline because he'd just gotten really obsessed with witchcraft, and I thought that's what one was.
This one was just like, hey, it's he just started hearing witches one day. He said he got really into witches, and that's the only thing that it said. For sure.
So bizarre.
I know. Well, that was the sad murder story that didn't get enough news coverage of Lydia Cala by her son, Joseph Cala II.
I'm intrigued.
I know.
I'm intrigued, and I want to know more, and I want to understand how that even fucking happened.
Yeah. Because he was actually beaten. Most of the time when we talk about this stuff, it's like, well, he didn't treat his mental diagnosis and he didn't take his medication or da-da-da, but he was.
It was not him. It was a different crazy one that got obsessed with Harry Potter.
Oh, the Harry Potter one?
Yeah. Which they have to use some excuse to then blame a children's book.
Of
just
course.
like video games are the reason that things happen.
Oh, yeah.
I don't understand that girl why she's like, I love my brother. You don't have to love your siblings. Like, we really need to stop implying that because we have the same blood that we are obligated to love you. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, I love your brother brutally murdered your mother and ate her organs.
Yeah.
You don't communicate with him, but you say you love him.
Yeah.
Like, is it necessary? It's the same thing like your dad that molested you for 10 years and then killed your mom because he was a drunk and he died. And you're like, well, I loved him. Did you really fucking love him?
I mean, that's a valid point.
Did you have to love him?
That's a valid point.
I don't.
Yeah, family
I
members.
believe that love can and should be lost to people who no longer deserve that love.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I agree.
I don't understand that.
People need to earn it. Blood or not.
Exactly.
Blood or not. What do you say? Don't give like when somebody sleeps with somebody too. What do you say?
I don't know. Don't give the milk for free.
That's what you say.
That's what all people in the Midwest say.
All people.
All of them. I'm not the only one that said that.
Took a survey.
All of them say that. No one's going to buy the cow if you're giving the milk away for free.
That's what you say.
That's what everyone says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my dad has said that.
That does sound like a Dwayne.
That is definitely a Dwayne Maple comment.
I love it.
Well,
you guys.
There's more stories on that link that I really want to dive into because bitches be crazy.
This is our witchy week.
Spells backfiring and killing people.
Mine was just like the witches told me in my head, so I did it.
That was very schizophrenic-y. Mine was, I'm pretty sure she just dabbled in Wiccan. I don't know the difference between, I don't know enough about Wicca to say that.
I don't know.
But none of that is like true devil worshiping that you have to sacrifice human beings for it.
No. Nope. Wow.
You could have just practiced witchcraft of some sort, if you heard witches. I wonder how he knew they were witches. Did they have a cackly voice and a big nose?
The whole time in my head, I just heard the Sanderson sisters. Like if I heard witches, I would hope it would be the Sanderson sisters.
I mean, they're pretty angry broads. They weren't very happy.
Dead man's toe. You're welcome.
Yes, indeed. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed just a little bit of the witchery because we will continue on this themed path.
In Halloween Town.
Yes.
Yes.
As we carry on with our
wayward son.
Sure. with all of that stuff. And it's going to be great.
Yeah. Go subscribe. Tell your friends. Pay attention to all of our shit.
We'll give extra 2 thumbs up to Jordan for editing this episode because we've had to pause and stop about 6 times. So if anything feels choppy, guys, just know it is.
That's right.
Because there was a lot of interruptions. It's amazing that we somehow stayed on track.
We made it through.
We did the best we could. That's all we can do. That's all we can do is we come here and we tell you some fucked up shit about some fucked up things.
That's right.
By fucked up people. Uh-huh. All right. Well, thank you guys. We love you.
Okay.
I love you.
Lay back.
Bye.
Theodore, can I bet that